Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the YouTube account and we're going to be looking at the Draconic heroes. Now there's a post over on Reddit that we're going to be covering that is from a guildie. Now when it comes to getting the Draconic heroes and building them out, even when it comes to the basic Draconic heroes, we're talking about Scion, we're talking about, Kregor, looking at the basic ones, it is incredibly difficult to get these. And as you've noticed here, we have got a lot of food at this point. So it's gotten to the point where you don't really need the food anymore, but they need to make some adjustments. And in the post, they do go through some adjustments that they definitely look at. And honestly, when it comes to this game mode, it is so incredibly difficult to get and maintain these heroes. Even thinking of where we were when we did the summons, and of course, we got really lucky with the summons. Doesn't really usually happen to everybody, but when we came in here, we did get the free copies out of here, which does help a little bit. But overall, looking at the summons, if you remember, we went through about 300 scrolls. We also went through, and I believe it was 150,000 diamonds to actually get the copies, and they gave us 4 copies for free. Now, some of the reason is the wish list. Now, looking at the wish list, you're getting a lot of heroes. We even got a lot of copies of Nyla in here. We got a lot of copies of Cassius and Polina pulling out of here, even though all 3 of those are not in the wish list. I know, again, the multiplication factor, but even fully pulled, and with all 5 heroes in here, players are saying that they're pulling heroes that are not in the wish list. So again, don't know how they're randomizing this wish list and how exactly it's working out. And then, of course, we get into the Dragonheart Temple. You can see with the reset of the Dragon Forge and everything else, we did get 2 more summons in here, or 20 in total. They are so incredibly hard to get. And there we go. Is that going to be another copy of Land? Which, there we go. So I've been doing these summons, and we've been getting copies of Land, and it's about a 2-month time frame. 2-month span that we get 1 single copy. So again, when it comes to the Highborn Draconic heroes, it's kind of silly on how expensive they are, how difficult they are to get. Even looking at the Dragon Forge trials, going in here, and this again is where we just got those insignias from, but it is so incredibly expensive. So let's hop over, guys. I want to look at this post and really break it down because it is kind of crazy to see exactly what other people are kind of experiencing in the same manner. Now, this is from and it's ST, as you can see right there. This is a goalie. I don't know how to say it. Bajaya, Bugaya. So the problem, regular Draconic summons is brutal. We know that, like I said, when we did our summons, with New Dragons release, they are super, super difficult, even with those 4 free copies. And this breaks down, if you remember the recruitment history, this is something they actually added to AFK Arena that you can do. So you can see right here, Wormcrest Spire, 959 pulls. There was almost 1,000 pulls in here to get the hero, which is crazy. Now, very similar to my pulls, I pulled 4 Awakened Heroes. You can see 2, 3, 4 Awakened Heroes were pulled. But looking at this is the new hero. This is what we were looking for, a Scion, the Unyielding Wing. You can see there were 6 copies pulled. But then when you look at the other ones, this is where it gets kind of crazy. Looking at the Swift Wing Sylph, 15 copies. Steadfast Sentinel, 12 copies. So again, thinking of getting the heroes that you're looking for in here, almost near impossible because of the wish list and really the thought. So it goes through here. I got 6 copies, just enough to get to Ascended, and 959 pulls at the cost of 480,000 diamonds. So you're talking 500,000 diamonds. When you think big picture, we get about 1 million two per year in diamonds. So you're talking 50% of your resources of the entire diamonds that you get as a free-to-play player were used to pull and get this hero ascended to 1 star. 500,000 diamonds, that's right. Put in perspective, that's enough to get a Celestial Hypo to ascended 5 stars, which is ridiculously expensive for 6 copies, even for a whale. Regular players, I can't imagine. That's why so many people are quitting. That's it. That is exactly spot on when it comes to the cost of these, not only having, the 5 heroes in the wish list, but also having the 5,000 diamond cost. It's silly that they are this expensive. So side note, of course, got the 4 Highborn copies, which again, he already has a couple of them, already had ascended 5 stars. So again, those are just going to go in there. Really stupid for a regular hero to be this strong. I also did pull Scion, Kregor, Cassius, Polina, and Nyla in the wish list. Out of those 5s, right there, Cassius, Polina, and Nyla were already ascended 5 stars. So now you're getting a ton of food, and that's exactly what I'm seeing as well, as we are starting to get a lot of just additional copies. There's no way to X them out, to move them out of wish list, to put them on the side where you're not going to continue getting a crazy amount of these heroes. And of course, We know in this game mode, there is no desired hero summons. There's nothing else. So it's kind of crazy when you look. He only needed Kregor and he needed Scion. Bring out the tinfoil hats because, of course, it's kind of crazy. Very suspicious that I have all 5 of the same probability of dropping, which there is no probability at all. It seems like if you're running 5 heroes in there, 20% each, doesn't make a big difference when you start looking at the copies and you start doing this. Really, the data getting extrapolated across a ton of summons, this is where it really does make the difference. Because even looking here, again, Kushina, right here, 975 summons. You are talking almost 1,000 draws in here. Now, this player only did get 3 of our already highborn Draconic heroes, but again, Unyielding Wing at 5 copies with the 4 free copies. This doesn't even give you the ability to get the hero up to Ascended with 1 star. Crazy, absolutely crazy. 975 draws for a hero that is not even Ascended at 1 star. And again, when you start thinking about that draw count, even if you kind of put it into perspective of diamonds, that would be a Celestial fully built. That would be a 5 star like we talked about with the draw counts in here. And then you look at Kreklin, even here again, 700 pulls, Unyielding Wing, 1. 1 single copy within there in 700 draws. Talk about crazy, guys. There's 1 highborn Draconic hero, but again, 1 single hero. Do you know how disappointing it would be looking and seeing that there was 1 single copy that you pulled out of 691 draws? Crazy, absolutely brutal when it comes to the summons. So I love the solution, and these there's 3 possible solutions that he shares, and I'm going to put this post or this link to this post down below so you can really check it out. Now, 1, reduce the cost from the 500 to 300 diamonds. That makes sense. That is right alongside all of our other heroes. Making them a little bit cheaper means that you're going to have the ability to pull a lot more. Don't need to adjust the scrolls, but if you're going in there and using 480,000 diamonds, you can actually make it affordable. 5 wishlist slots seem to be acceptable for regular heroes, but those regular heroes are much cheaper, and you can also use the desired hero summons, which of course is a huge thing. Doesn't solve the RNG issue. Regular heroes RNG is solved, of course, with the hero choice, but that's at least 40% cheaper than we're seeing them. Reducing the dragon wish list, I like this idea. From 5 to 3, 3 slots work fine for the beasts. That would take out some of the RNG. And of course, beasts also have secret spice mechanic to offset some of the RNG that we see in there. And then of course, 3, just like the hero choice and secret spice, a mechanic where you can choose which dragon you're looking for would be super helpful. No Draconic heroes are too expensive to use as regular dragons. And of course, there's a previous post in there. But can we make it that you can't pull the Ascended 5-star highborn Draconic heroes, which again would be something that would make a lot of sense in here because of the sheer cost. You are exponentially putting so much more resources into these heroes without the ability to summon them. And again, we're talking about some of the largest players within AFK Arena. I mean, 691 summons right there, 975, 959 summons. So kind of crazy when you start looking again at those numbers and seeing what kind of summons that they are putting in here to get these heroes built. And again, I kind of reflect back and I think about what is the experience for all the players when we start looking at this mode, when we look at how many diamonds we spent, how many scrolls we spent, because I believe, again, I was around 300, but we did have 200,000 plus diamonds. So between both of those and doing those summons, I think I'm at like 700 maybe. And again, just kind of a rough estimation at 5,000 each. But overall, looking at the amount of summons that we did in here as a free-to-play player, and again, bigger picture thinking of how everyone would take this, there is no way to get these heroes. It literally, so even if you came in and thinking of the wish list, if you were one that came in and you built out Nyla, you're all of a sudden not going to have any more resources at all. Even the collection of resources overall is not going to give you the ability. Then, of course, we got Melion. This is another one that was a big priority hero. So again, coming in here, getting this hero, doing the summons, you don't have any resources. Most players just passed on Kregor in its entirety. Now you have a hero like Scion comes out, and Scion is now being used in the Cursed Realm, in the Nightmare Corridor, in the Twisted Realm, in Treasure Scramble. It is being used literally everywhere that we have a spot to put him within AFK Arena. And again, you're really segmenting the players that saved a lot of resources or put a lot of money into AFK Arena that can actually pull these heroes in the entirety and build them up to actually a viable level. And even now, I only have 3 of 9 furniture on this hero. Viability is not there without 9 of 9 furniture. Quickly realized it when I went through the trial version and I went through the regular version. It doesn't work with the 9 of 9 without that 9 of 9 furniture. So again, I'm going to have to continue building up this hero a lot further. And then, of course, like I said earlier, Dragonheart Temple, this is a place that the cost in here is just astronomical, that players can't even build it. Even if you went and attempted to build one of these heroes, even free-to-play players might have built one hero up, and that means you're missing out. And a lot of players did build out Gwen, but that means you're missing out on Land, you're missing out on Skyland, you're missing out on the next one, which is going to be another Draconic hero as well, meaning there's no resources or resource generation that is enough to sustain how fast they're putting out these heroes, short of breaking out that Visa or American Express and really going to town with buying stuff in the game. So guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.